Hi, it's River. I wanted to film a video talking about cause we never talked about it, so I wanted to make a video talking about all the detrimental aspects of having DID in our lives, because we had something for the first time ever that kind of shamed us about having DID, and we wanted to just, I don't know, I guess show that, because we're not sure if we romanticize the disorder on our channel or not, but we just wanted to film this video because just to show the ugly side of it, I guess. But what happened was, anyways, Liliana was out earlier this evening because my friend was over and we were watching Wicked, and I sometimes I look at my own eyes and I'm like, that's really intense. So anyways, Liliana was out and sorry, I'm getting anxious now. And what was I saying? My friend was over and we were watching a movie. We were watching Wicked, and I, in the moment, was like, oh, in my head, I was like, I really want to build Lego. And I kind of checked in on that urge, and I could feel that it was one of my littles. And we asked our friend, we're like, hey, a little wants to front, would you mind if they build Lego around you? And my friend is like, oh, that would make me feel uncomfortable because are you gonna act like a little kid and talk like a little kid? And when my littles are out, this body kind of age regresses. So we do talk like children and act like children, not completely because we're of course not children, but we do kind of act in that regressive age state. So after my friend said that, we're like, hey, we'll respect that boundary and we won't, this isn't the time for that. And I don't know, after that, I could feel, I think it was, I don't know, I just felt this sense to cry. And part of me, River, felt shame, I guess. And I guess mostly shame about this disorder and how I lack agency in certain moments because, when someone else fronts, they are in control of the body, they do what they want to do. So little things like Carl and his facial expression, Montrell with his facial expression, Brielle in her ears, although I'm not ashamed or embarrassed of my system, they act differently than I myself, River, act. And just coming to terms with the fact that I'm sharing my life with all these different identity states, and I believe I am just a simple identity state just because I identify with the body, and I believe I was one who has been here since childhood with the body, which I don't even really know if that's really true or not. Just because that is true, this doesn't mean that this is just my life. And in the quest to heal from my mental health in general, I've thought to respect my alters in the system and share my life with them. It's not even my life, I hate saying it like that, but share the life that we have with one another, because what I was doing before just wasn't working. I was constantly in and out of the hospital, mentally unwell, attempting at least twice a year, and I just didn't want to live like that anymore. So when I figured out that I was multiple, I've gone on this slow journey of learning about my system and us learning about each other and coming to terms with it and trying to respect everyone's wishes. And it's been tricky to understand that because of that, what people have understood as me, River, but really it's just this body, will now need to lean into all those urges that I was previously suppressing. And the urge to act childlike, which is my little, although I've always felt that way momentarily, and I can think I can look back in my life and identify, at least I can't really say identify through memories, but I just know that this isn't something that I'm suddenly all doing all of a sudden. it's just hard to know that, like, I don't know, like, I need to accept the fact that there's parts of me, and in order to heal more, I need to respect those parts of me, and that looks like not acting how I want to act as myself, River, in every moment of every day. So we made this vow to like never let our mental health shame us in any capacity. And recently, I guess we've just been experiencing a lot of shame because of our mental health, like when Derek was talking about OCD, and now tonight with Liliana. And the weirdest thing of this all is this friend, they're in their 50s, and I know you're gonna be watching this, or at least I think you'll be watching this because they watch my videos. And I'm not like mad at you or upset with you, but this is just an experience that I should have expected at one point or another. But this friend was diagnosed with DID, like clinically, in childhood, so I figured if anyone would understand, it'd be them, but I guess things are different, and maybe there's reasons because of that they weren't comfortable with the little being around them, so I'm not sure. But I ended up texting my partner, asking him if he thought I was a freak. I like constantly need reassurance in my life, so I tend to go to him a lot for that reassurance. So I asked him, and obviously he said no and stuff. And I explained the context of why I felt that way, and he said something really nice, actually. He said, when you're watching a movie with someone, you should focus on the movie. And he said that's something I would tell even my own child. So it was nice to know that he spoke to us in a way that he would have spoke to a child, because I think that's what we needed in the moment. And I think Liliana did feel better after that, but even when she was filming, she still felt anxious, and at least I think she did. I don't really remember a lot of the emotions she was experiencing besides the fact that she was getting really frustrated with the Lego. How long have I been? 7 minutes, sorry. I like to keep track of the time. I'm so obsessed with time. But yeah, I made this video before, but I had to redo it because I had the TV volume going in the background, and when I watched it back, I was like, that's way too loud and distracting. And I think that video ended up being a better video than this video, because now I just feel awkward and anxious. It's just, going back to the topic of the video of romanticizing DID, I hope that I've never done that. And I don't think I have, because I've shown the ugly parts of my mental health, like when I've gone catatonic, or my suicidal episodes, or my depressive episodes. So, but I also don't know if I talk enough about the parts of DID that just suck. I feel like I made a similar video than this in the past, but I don't remember which one it was. So, I guess it's just a hard night for a lot of shame. And even now I feel a lot of shame about how I'm acting on camera and stuff, but I really value being authentic, which is why I post such vulnerable videos. And I'm not sure if by I mean this body or I as a River, but none of my system has spoken up about not wanting to share this information that we share, so I think it's okay. It's so tricky because, like, if I had some kind of chronic physical illness that caused me to like say I had an ostomy bag, I'm sure those who have ostomy bags feel a lot of shame because of what society tells them to. But I almost feel like they're more forgiven or provided more sympathy in life than those who struggle with mental health. And granted, it could be because a lot of the time, at least in my case, I internalize a lot of my mental health symptoms. But I grant it's probably more than just that. I do think that generally society does stigmatize mental health disorders more. And I try to act all strong and confident, and for the most part I am, but sometimes I get stuck in these moments where it just feels like I don't know the word. it's like my life, I don't want to say my life just sucks, but like, and I know my life doesn't suck. I know I'm very privileged, and a lot of it was just luck, and a lot of it was stuff I worked hard for. But one way or another, I've gotten the life that I never thought I would have. So I'm very privileged and very thankful that I made it to this point. But I still have these moments where I realize that I've been chronically unwell for over a decade now. Well, I mean, like, if obviously all throughout childhood, but like been in the mental health system for over a decade now. And these are common themes I've continued to struggle with. Granted, it was more, I keep saying granted, it was more intense, especially when I was dealing with ongoing psychosis, like full-on psychotic breaks multiple times a year. I dealt with shame much more. But I still can't let that get to me. Like, I still continue to let it get to me, I should say. So I don't really know what I'm trying to say. I probably should have watched that original video back, but even when I was watching it, I'm like, too loud. But I wish I would have got it back so I could hear the points that I made again. But I think the biggest part that people don't realize about DID is you have your agency stolen from you. Because what people have come to realize as one person as in this body is multiple people, and so there's some urges that I've experienced throughout my whole life that I've suppressed, and now I'm trying to respect my system and like honor their wishes. And I'm not dissociating, I'm just a loss for words because I feel really low right now, but that's why my sentences are so slow. But yeah, it all comes down to like a lack of agency and how badly that fucking sucks. Like, I think back to when Buzz, I think this is the first time I got to know Buzz, when he fronted when I was at school and how vastly different I was acting. Like a scared little child in the waiting room of my mental health clinic in my university. So when I think back at that moment, that's one of the most grounding experiences that I have, where I'm like, no, I have DID. But even that, I remember it felt like I had like, what are those, virtual reality headset, and I was watching my life through a TV lens. That was also what I see through my eyes, because I was seeing all the things he was doing and had no ability to do anything about it. And the whole time I'm watching that, I'm just thinking, what the fuck am I doing? Act normal, dude. Like, stop doing this, get it together. And it was alarming, you know? And that hasn't happened to that degree in a long time, because I'm not in that mental health crisis that I was last spring. But knowing that happened once, and who knows the next time that might happen again, is difficult to accept. I think this got to me more than I realized. And I definitely think, sorry, my eyes get so dry sometimes. I feel like I'm just going in circles with the same subject matter, but I just mean to say that this, as grateful I am, I was gonna talk about this. So, because of the way my amnesia works, I don't remember most of my life. And I've spoken about this before, how one of the most detrimental things about this illness to me was not having my memories, and continue to not have my memories. And I don't think that's spoken about enough. I think maybe because I'm like one of the only systems that I know about who have amnesia like this. But knowing that a good chunk of my life is lost to me because of my amnesia is something that I'm always gonna be upset about and like devastated over, because so much of your life is just your memories. You're only in the present for so long, right? And you don't know the future, but at least the past you can turn back to and readily understand yourself through. And I feel like I don't have that ability. So it just sucks. So I would say that, lack of agency, and also how it fucks with, at least in my case, my own identity. Like, ever since my female alter started coming forward, I present more femininely, and not even like this body, I mean like myself, and I still don't understand that, and I still identify as a man. And I know gender expression has nothing to do with your actual gender, but it's fucks with my head a lot to think that, what if I just changed my gender at one point? What if I get this experience of like my female alters fronting get so normalized for me that I change my own gender? And that terrifies me. For one hand, it's like, I fought so hard to get to this point in my transition. And then also, it's like, what are people gonna think about me? They're just gonna think I'm, what do they call it, like transgender or something? So, I think I'm just caught in a negative headspace now of just guilt and shame and remorse. Regret, I should say. I don't know, just like emotions like that. I'm trying to learn more about emotions. I feel like I don't have that good of an understanding of emotions. I should probably go to like the emotional color wheel to see what these emotions lie under. I just wanted to make this video just to say that, although I don't really believe I romanticize this disorder, I probably don't talk about the negative aspects as often as I should, so that's just all I wanted to say. So I'm gonna end the video now.